Oh, fuck! I gotta grab my coffee. Well, America's gotta run on something. It's funny. I don't know, laugh. But we are famous.
I'm a big fat fucking liar.
Maybe it's because the main character's blonde. I mean, he's a team player.
You are not getting paid to tell me he's driving a Prius.
I'm spreading lies and misinformation. That's not true. I like the gay one. Tom's a homie, bro. Like, she's like a fucking wimp. He's a really bad guy. Pajamas. But she didn't forget her fucking unicorn knee socks. I'm sick! I'm sick! Balls to the wall, like.
Then you bought it. What do you mean they're so itty bitty?
She's actually too small and she needs to grow.
We're on the hunt.
We're going on the hunt. So my ass is about to be towering over Lucy.
I have no comment because I haven't read it yet.
This is stemming from a point of jealousy of a fictional character. Happy Pride to the goose from Kung Fu Panda.
I almost ate shit.
I had to get up and grab my coffee. I forgot, but this is a big gulp.
Yeah,
Also,
I
sorry.
forgot to warn you. I guess this is a medium, which would be a large.
Right, because that's the size of the large at like my coffee place.
Yeah.
Also, your hair looks really pretty.
Thanks. I just did it.
It looks so good.
Yeah, I don't know why Duncan's sizing is like so off.
Well, I said this morning because my mom's like, that coffee's huge, and I was like, well, America's got to run on something, and that something's a sugar rush.
Literally.
So I'm about to be running.
Sprinting.
I gotta put this somewhere where it's not gonna touch my books because it's like dripping.
Yeah, that's why you gotta get the koozies so they.
Well, I don't think there's a koozie big enough for this.
They make them.
If I go again, I'm gonna get a medium.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing is the small is like real small. It's like a grande at Starbucks, which is like average.
Yeah.
But like then we jump to like this.
Yeah, it's like
oh, okay. Well, how's everyone doing?
I'm so good. I rearranged my set because
yes.
I just think I like made this kind of like above it is like my fantasy, so that's where like Once, Carval, Heartless, Dance of Thieves is like that's where that is. Even though there's some fantasy here, but it's like these are my favorites, you know, like Powerless, Lightlark. Sorry, like tour, shelf tour.
Tour. You can't see mine; it's like across the room from me. But my top shelf is like all of my kind of favorites, which is a lot of fantasy. And then my middle is just kind of like stuff I've read that I like, and then who knows?
Yeah,
I have like records in the middle. Anyways,
bookshelf
tour. I'll post it later. Stay tuned.
Oh, I have some. I thought I had some housekeeping. Oh, yes, I do. Some announcements. Number 1, go watch my TikToks. I'm kind of pissed. Not you. I'm talking to the audience.
Follow us on TikTok, Demons on the Page. Follow us on YouTube, Demons on the Page. Follow us on Instagram, Demons on the Page. Guys, we are everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're posting every single day on TikTok. And I know we're not going to get off the ground really quickly, but it's weird when like the video that I just posted for, that's going to fall. For, Love Theoretically, my reading updates. And I made it quicker for you guys. I made it so it's kind of like a minute-long, kind of quick bursts reading updates.
That was my favorite one so far.
Y'all aren't having it. And it's just like, it's funny. I don't know, laugh. But I still have one more Love Theoretically video to come out because I have my like actual wrap up because I couldn't film an actual like review while I was on vacation. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait till I get home. So I still have that to post. So I don't know, maybe y'all tell me what you guys want. Do you want me just to read a book and then review it? Or do you want like updates while I'm in the middle of reading? You know, like I don't know what's best.
I like the updates. I think it's fun.
Me too, but
I think it's different. I don't know. I think the algorithm just
hates us because I don't know what time to post because it changes like every single day.
it's all a lie.
But we are famous. That was my other housekeeping update. We are famous. Bryn Weaver reposted our Instagram. And if you don't know, she is the author of Butcher and Blackbird.
That was
like
so
the best
iconic.
moment.
Rachel posted on our like Instagram like her picking up Leather and Lark. Is that right? And she like tagged her. Obviously, like we always tag the authors because they make their own content. And she reposted it, and she didn't even know. I was like scrolling on Instagram, and I had like liked it, and I'd seen her comment, and I was like, "You're not like, have you checked it?"
It was really exciting. Just because like she's probably my favorite author. Probably. That was really exciting.
Just follow us on everything because we're a lot more consistent on other platforms. Even though I
think we're consistent on YouTube. Like I think we're actually consistent with the podcast. I mean, we film once a week. Like,
did we film last week? I can't remember.
No, because I was, you were out of town, and then I was out of town. But I think we still had an episode. We had an episode go up.
We did have an episode go out. I just was thinking about that, and I was like, when's the last time I talked to Rachel?
We haven't talked books in a while. I mean, we've talked because FaceTime Everyday Challenge, but
yeah, literally. We're actually best friends outside of this, guys. I hope you know.
Yeah, I booked a flight so I could be with her. I was like, so I'm booking the same flight you did.
And it worked.
And it works. It actually worked really well, and it wasn't that expensive.
I like haven't updated my Goodreads.
Oh. I have been a demon on the Goodreads.
I would like to publicly state I posted a picture of me with this book, Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, the other day.
I put that? Oh, it's right there. Yeah.
And let me tell you, I'm a big fat fucking liar. Look how much I've read. Not even the first page.
Oh. Well, I finished it, so technically it's okay because the account is both of us.
I know.
So someone has read it.
I've been meaning to start it. I just like, I went on a trip on like my weekend last week, and then I got back and I was just kind of, I don't even know what I was doing this week now that I think about it, but not reading. I don't know. I was watching a lot of TV. Some doctor's appointments. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Bridgerton came out recently.
I've been busy. I've been booked and busy and not reading. Oops.
That's okay. That's okay. I was bad at updating my Goodreads, and then I was like, oh, wait, I actually think it'd be funny because this book that I'm reading is giving me, like, just next level, like, unhinged thoughts. And surprisingly, the unhinged thoughts are not coming from this, which you'd think they're coming from this because it's unhinged. But no. It's coming from this. This book
I'm really curious.
Oh, baby girl, do I have thoughts. I decided to pick this up. Sorry, we're just getting right into the books.
No, yeah.
I decided to pick this up because I really enjoyed, spoiler alert, I loved Love Theoretically. I thought it was so good. And yeah, you can say what you want. Maybe it's because the main character's blonde. And his name is Jack. Like, you can say what you want. But it was really good. Like, it was very well written. And, like, the writing was very, like, witty and funny. And I think I just related, a lot to the main character because she struggles with, like, people-pleasing, and she'll kind of change her personality to fit on who she's with. She's really bad at making decisions. She's just, I really related to her. So then I was like, okay, maybe I just really like scientists. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I really enjoy Allie Hazelwood. So I decided to pick up another one. And this one is fake dating and technically workplace romance. He's a professor, she's a grad student. So I was like, one, relatable. But it's not like controversial because like she doesn't work in his department. Like she's not one of his grads.
And they're like pretty close in age.
They're like 10 years apart. He's like 34, she's like 23, 24. Yeah.
Yes.
So she starts fake dating him because she is dating. We kind of get the backstory that she was dating this guy, but she didn't really like him. But she found out her best friend was like, not in love with him, but her best friend like really liked him. And so she's like, well, I'm going to break up with this guy because like I know that like she was like we weren't dating, we were just kind of like seeing each other, like we went to the movies and like got coffee, like, but she's like, fuck, like my best friend, like they would work really well together, like I want to set them up, but my best friend's obviously going to feel really bad if she starts dating the guy I was seeing because like girls girl, you know.
Yeah.
So she's like, so her fucking decision, her idea to make it so her friend believes that she's like over this other guy, like whatever, kisses a professor in the lab building.
No, because I would be like, full stop. You've lost
What are
it.
you doing?
You're spiraling.
Because obviously this man, his name's Adam, he is like the big bad broody mean professor. Like all those students hate him because he's honest. Like he's like, no, your proposal and like your experiment sucks ass, like you should fix it. So everyone hates him. So she's like, oh my god, like why didn't you tell me, like I thought we were best friends, like why didn't you tell me like you guys are seeing each other? And she's like, oh. So she just like keeps like lying. And then she's like talking to her friend, like, oh no, we just kind of started seeing each other. He walks in and he plays along. I mean, he's a team player. And so then they kind of start this fake dating. And she's like, wait, why would you even agree to that? Like, why would you want to do that?
Like,
he's like,
asking
well,
Adam, the professor.
Yeah, she's asking him, like, why would you even want to do that? She's like, I know why I want to do it, but why do you want to do it? So his reason is like, oh, well, they've frozen my money. Like the university, like the grants. They've frozen his grants because they think he's going to leave Stanford, which is where they go to school and work.
Well, was he?
That's T. So he's like, no, I'm not going to leave. I don't know why they think that. So he's like, I thought, you know, having like a stable girlfriend would like show them.
But if I was in school, I'd be like, that's a student.
Well,
like I know they're not in the same department, but I would have been like,
this is what started. Okay. I was like,
I'll shut up.
No, because I was thinking the same thing. I was like, okay, this is like silly and fun. Like I'm enjoying this. Like the plot's like really funny. But then it started to get cringe. Because it started to get into the point of like too much consent. Not between them, but it was almost like Allie Hazelwood was talking to the readers to try to convince the readers that this is okay. Because she, in the book, the character is like, there's this dialogue of them talking about, oh, Adam's like, oh, hey, by the way, Olive, like I looked at the course conduct, like I don't know, but he said like, oh yeah, I checked with like the advisors and they said it's okay because you're not in my department. And I was like, oh, she's making it so we think it's okay. I wasn't going to question it because it's a book. But anyway.
It's not reality. Yeah. But
yeah,
do I have questions? Duh. But like, it's not reality. So like, I just have to, it's like math. It just is.
Yeah. Well, why does
I don't work? Really, it just does.
I think, and honestly, it would be fine if he was one of her students.
It's a book.
It's a book, and that's like a trope.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
thought
know.
that's where this was going.
No, so they're in different. They're both like, she studies like cancer research, and I don't really know what he studies, but it's like some kind of form of like biology something. I don't know. Who needs to know what he's studying, because he's supposed to be the sexy character. And he is for a while until he pulls up in his Prius. You had to give
No.
him a not sexy car too?
You could have
Give him
just
a
not
Lambo.
said he drove a like, huh?
He could have just said like he pulled up in his car or whatever. Like
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about it.
he pulled up at my apartment in his car.
I think it's so funny when like in a book they're like this car or whatever, and it's like, in movies when they do like product placements, like in Barbie they were all driving like what were like Chevys or Fords or something,
I think they were driving, yeah, something like that. I
but
think
every single
Chevys.
car, and they made a point to like show
The
the
logo.
emblem, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, product placement, but like in a book you are not getting paid to tell me he's driving a Prius.
Yeah, that's the thing where it's like you don't have to
Unless she
say,
is.
unless it's like a super sexy car, like then fine, say it. Because I was in Leather and Lark, it says that he drives. Lachlan is the name of the character. He's the butcher's brother. They keep saying he drives a black Charger, like a Dodge
Mhm.
Charger. That's fine
Yeah,
though. For some reason,
that
that
makes
doesn't bother me,
sense.
because I'm like,
Well,
I guess I don't know. It fits Adam's character because he's like a scientist and like, the environment, but like
yeah.
at least maybe drive it like in a cool electric car or something. He should drive a Cybertruck.
Pulled up in his Cybertruck.
Honestly,
It
I
immediately
think that's
broke down.
funny.
Well, she
I would
definitely
think
didn't
that's
write
funny.
this when Cybertrucks were a thing.
No, this
Actually, I
came
don't
out.
know.
When did this one come out? Oh, this was like, I
Time
think, her
travel.
first book.
Oh,
So I think
interesting.
that I looked at it. I was like, oh, that explains why Love theoretically was so good, because it came out last year. So I'm like, okay, it's more.
Recent.
We flushed out the process of like what we're going for.
Mm-hmm.
Um.
You know what just absolutely halts me in my
Uh huh.
tracks?
Yeah.
Allie Hazelwood is notorious for her STEM books, like her STEM romance
Yeah.
novels. Absolutely, I'm there with you. When, where, why, and how did we write Bride?
I've
And I
always
haven't
wondered
read
that.
it, so I don't know how, like, if it does have that STEM element, but also
It
that
does not.
fantasy element. But like,
It's vampires and
I'm not
werewolves. It's
saying
it's Twilight.
I'm not saying that you like can't make that jump, but I'm like, I also feel like it's been really popular on TikTok lately. So I don't know when it came out, but if it came out, I, I have so many
So it
questions.
came
Like,
out
who?
after all of these. It came out after the science ones. It came out like the tail end of 2023.
And I get it.
I
Like,
think she wanted to make a jump and like change it up a little bit, but like if
yeah.
something is working for you,
Well, what's crazy is it still worked for her. People loved it, and I'm sure she's probably
oh
writing more
no.
stuff like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's just
Um
normally, and well, she might have even been writing stuff under a pen name in that category. You don't know.
yeah, she could have just been like fooling around in like AO3 or something. Under like not Allie Hazelwood, but
Yeah.
no, she did. No, that was someone else. Never mind, never mind. Lies. I'm spreading lies and misinformation. But anyway, there's more to this fucking book. And I've been like writing updates in my Goodreads like under the
Mm-hmm.
progress,
I've
because
seen
I'm just
that.
like, oh, I didn't know you could see those. I was hoping, because I think they're funny, but
Yeah, like the little comments. Yeah.
oh, okay. I didn't know if you could see those. Um, but it was getting to the point where, one, I hate all of her friends. Actually, no, that's not true. I like the gay one. I really like Malcolm.
Ally.
Yeah, because Malcolm also has a crush on one of the professors, and I think that's really funny because like also the professor kind of has a crush on him,
Oh.
and it's just like, oh,
Is
like they're
Allie
being gay
Hazelwood
together.
getting into gay romance?
No, I just think like every character has to be gay now. That's just my. I'm not going to speak further on that because it is Pride Month and ally, but at the same time, it almost gets to the point where it's like overkill. It's like where you're trying to like make a point. But anyway,
Like, I get it. Like, obviously, they're trying to show a diverse, like, reality of our world, but at the same time, it's like, you didn't need to say that about that person.
yeah, it's like how they get into the Prius thing where it's like, okay, we get it. Um, but anyway, so her best friend, the one that she's trying to set up with like the guy she used to see, they're seeing each other now. And everyone's so happy and they're like in love. And almost this group of friends is kind of like the band kids in high school where they would just make out like against the lockers. So they keep going to these like school functions. There was like a picnic. Like a like not science fair, but
Mm-hmm.
it was like a science grad student professor picnic, like meetup. So they go to the
Okay.
picnic and obviously like her friend is so fucking weird, the one who's now dating the guy. um Her friend's like, oh my god, like you should go say hi to Adam. And she's like, oh, but I'm hanging out with you guys. And she's kind of just she tries to put, so it's Adam and Olive. Her
Mm-hmm.
friend tries to put Olive in like these situations with Adam that are so uncomfortable and so out of the blue. Like, wouldn't be a situation that you would like normally interact with like your boyfriend or your girlfriend in. She's like, oh, you should go like lather sunscreen on him
At the group picnic?
at the group picnic. And it was so weird because it's just like, so he is playing Ultimate Frisbee shirtless.
And I'm not rubbing sunscreen on him.
Neither am I barely know him.
Sorry.
So she's like, no, I think he's fine, like he's hanging out with like his professor friends.
Yeah.
Also, key plot point actually that I forgot, Adam has this friend named Tom is an evil blonde man. Also, his name's Tom. I'm winning. We stay winning. So Tom actually runs this really amazing cancer research program at Harvard. Olive has applied to like come work at his cancer research because she studies cancer research as well. So she's like, it's like
Mm-hmm.
the best in the country. It's at Harvard. Like, I really want to go. But she's like, Adam, you didn't tell me he was your like friend. Like, that's so weird.
Friend. Yeah.
And now he thinks we're dating. Like, that's gonna get really weird. And he's like, no, it won't. Like, Tom's super chill. Like, he literally doesn't care that like we're dating. Like, it's not going to like affect your application in any way.
No. Tom's so chill. Don't
No,
even
no,
worry.
no. Tom's a homie, bro. Like, that's basically what it
Tom,
is.
he's got my back.
So Tom doesn't have his back. Tom is actually evil. Tom has said some fucked things to Olive. But I laughed because it was funny. But
It's
it was
funny.
actually
Laugh.
it was actually really hurtful. Like, and it was really like sexist, and he was bordering on sexual harassment. Yay, Tom. Anyway, so she puts sunscreen on him at this picnic because her friend like globs sunscreen lotion into her hands, and she's like, I don't know what to. So she has to put it on him, and it's every other chapter, or it's like every chapter, every other page, they're put in these awkward situations in front of like mass groups of people. But they've made it a
For
point
the
to commit to the fake dating. It's like every Wednesday they'll go get coffee at the Starbucks on campus.
to be
And I'm
seen
like,
together.
to me, I'd be like, you're fooling no one. So then,
People,
yeah.
how many people do you think were fake dating in college? Actually, that's a dumb question because no one does that.
It's not real.
It's not real. But you said I would totally clock it, but it's like,
Would
would
you?
we?
Well, I think it's just because like I'd be like, if I saw Adam, I'd be like, I want him. Not that he's like my usual type at all, but I want him. Like who want me?
Who want me?
But anyway,
Anyway,
so
sorry.
we're like continuing this fake dating thing, and this scientific conference is coming up where professors and like grad students will get asked to like either give a talk or like bring a poster like or something to like display their
Bring a
work.
poster. That goes crazy.
Yeah, it's like a science fair. Not joking. And it's in Boston. And at this
Where's
time we have
Stanford?
found out what?
Where's
Huh?
Stanford?
California.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I was like, how close is that to Boston?
Far.
Not close.
Yes, Stanford is here. So we found out at this point, pre-conference, that Olive has gotten the gig to work for a year at the cancer research lab in Boston. And so Adam's like, oh, so that's like great. Blah, blah, blah. Like, Tom has a great lab. Like, you're going to get a lot of like good research done. There's a lot more money over there. But this conference is coming up and she gets chosen to give a talk. And usually the grad students don't get to give a talk. It's like the professors. So she's like freaking out because she hates public speaking and she's like a fucking wimp. But Adam's like, no, you're gonna do great at the talk. It's gonna be awesome. Like, and she's like, oh, but I like, would you like come to my talk? Pretty please. And he's like, yeah, of course I'll be there because like he is like in love with her for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
And I'm like, she's not that bad. And then it gets worse. So they go to the conference, but her friends have booked a hotel and like an Airbnb or something without her because they thought that she was going to want a room with Adam, her so-called boyfriend. But she wasn't thinking about that because technically they're not dating. So then they end up sharing a room. And I'm like, fuck. It's one bed trope time. Gosh darn it. It's not. There's 2 twin beds.
And what hotel has twin beds?
I don't know. It was weird. It's like a conference hotel. Like, it's not fucking real.
So they have to push them together because no one can sleep on a twin bed.
So, you'd think. So they get there, and then Olive's like getting ready in the room. Like, Adam's not there. Like, he's already at the conference. So she's like, oh, I'll get ready. Like, my talk's in a few hours. So she's getting ready, and then she hears the door open, and it's Adam. And she's like, oh, I didn't expect you to be back. I thought you were already at the conference. And he's like, oh, no, I'm just, like, taking a little break, like, up at the room. And she's like, you're still coming to, like, hear my talk, right? And he's like, so about that, our talks are at the same time because I'm the keynote speaker. He's, like, the big talk.
I thought they weren't supposed to have anyone else talk during keynotes. I know it's a conference.
It's probably because it's like she's a grad student. Like, no one fucking gives a shit. Right. Also, they probably wouldn't do that in real life, but because it's a silly book, they had to do that.
Yeah. This isn't real life.
So they both go give their talks. Olive's like, oh, actually, that went really well. That was so easy. Like, it was a good time. Like, I'm glad I did it. Tom comes up to her, evil blonde, and is like, hey, like, loved your talk. Like, that was awesome. Like, so excited for you to like come work at my lab. And she's like, oh, thanks. And then he kind of goes balls to the wall and he's like, oh, I wanted to tell you how smart that was. And she goes, what? And she goes, sleeping with Adam to get this talk at the conference. Like, good job. Like, he's like
in the balls right now.
And so she's like, well, I didn't like, I wasn't doing that. Like, I wasn't sleeping with Adam to get this talk. And he's like, well, can't wait for you to sleep with me to like so I can, like, he's basically saying, like, you're just gonna sleep with me to, like,
To get what you want.
To get what you want, like, at my cancer research lab. And he's like, I'll be honest, if you do, I will give you more grant money. He's a really bad guy. And he, like, tries to, like, kiss her, like, in the like conference hall or whatever. So then she's freaking out and she's like, I can't go work for, Tom anymore. But, like, I can't tell Adam that his friend's a creep because they're, like, besties.
But, like, why are they besties?
Exactly. Well, they're besties because they met in grad school and, like, Tom, I guess, helped Adam. I don't know. They were, like, they just became, they're friends. They became friends in grad school. I don't give a shit. So then she, like, goes back up to the room instead of going to the, like, basically free booze event at the end of the day of this conference. So I'm like, girl, go to the free booze event. So then Adam comes up and he, like, finds her, like, sulking in, like, the chair in the hotel room, and he's like, what's wrong? And he's being so nice. And then he's like, well, let's ditch the conference. Like, I'll take you to dinner. So nice. So nice of him. They end up at fucking revolving sushi. Like, all you can eat sushi, and Adam wants to kill himself. Because Adam's like,
not like,
I would have taken you anywhere in the city. Like, I don't care how expensive. Like, I would have taken you anywhere. And she wanted fucking $20 sushi.
Me too, though. That'd be me as fuck.
And he's like, he says to her, he's like, damn, you really are a cheap date, huh? It was funny, though. It was, like, a funny comment. Like, they joked.
Yeah.
And here's where I wanted to die.
Oh,
no. They go back to the hotel room.
I thought you were going to say they were feeding each other sushi.
That would have been bad. They go back to the hotel room. And she's like, oh, do you want to watch a movie? Because she doesn't want to go down to this, like, party at the conference. Like, she's like, oh, like, do you want to watch a movie? And he's like, sure. Like, why not? Like, I'll look for something. And she's like, okay, I'm gonna go shower. So she's, like, digging in her suitcase to, like, find her pajamas to bring to the bathroom with her. Guess what she forgets? Pajamas. But she didn't forget her fucking unicorn knee socks. I wish I was joking. So he gives her a t-shirt that says Biology Ninja on it. It's ridiculous. And of course she's so itty bitty and small that it, like, comes past her knees. So she's got this Biology Ninja shirt on and unicorn rainbow knee socks. And he still wants to sleep with her.
That's what caught your eye?
I'm sick. And then so my last update was hold on. Was, aw, you guys ruined sex for me. In the pink the pink squid from Nemo's voice, like, oh, you guys made me ink, in that voice, because, oh my god, it actually couldn't have gone worse. He was doing great. I was like, oh, pick me, choose me. I'm like, oh my god, hello. And then she's just making it uncomfortable because she would not get comfortable. Like, she was, like, squirming around, and not in, like, a good way. In, like, an I'm uncomfortable way. And he's like, are you good? Like, do you need me to stop? And she's like, no, it's okay. And he's like, you're clearly not okay. He goes, oh, are you a virgin? And she's like, no. But she, like, kind of technically is, because I think she's only slept with like one person, and she's like, yeah, I just slept with someone to like get it over with, because she's almost asexual. Like she doesn't have like those kind of feelings about anyone, but she of course has them about Adam because they're like true love or something. And he asked for consent a little bit too much, but I guess it's okay because like she's never really done anything, and it just like it just really ruined it for me. But then then I switch over to something like this where it's like balls to the wall, like
Rachel's favorite phrase this week: balls to the wall.
Take a shot every time I say balls to the wall, because that and freak nasty.
Freak like nasty. I like that one.
I like that one too. Those are like my two phrases to describe. Those are my two emotions.
But they're accurate. Like that just sums it up. Y'all get freak nasty.
She's still sitting on this information of like, well, I have to tell Adam about his best friend like being a fucking creep to me, which is totally fair. Like you totally should, but she kind of doesn't know how, because how do you say like, hey, your best friend tried to sexually assault me in the hallway. But like for real. So she's kind of like, but anyway, they end up like, hooking up. But now I guess Adam's like hoping that now they can like really date, because he actually does really like her. Oh, also she's wearing a polka dot green thong.
Who sells that? Why would you even sell that?
With the unicorn socks.
And then you bought it.
Well, the whole thing is like she doesn't have money.
And why did you waste it on a green polka dot thong then? I'm ill.
It makes me so fucking sick. Freak nasty, derogatory.
Yeah.
But anyway, but then she finds out. You asked, well, why does Stanford think he's a flight risk to like leave? Like, why would they freeze his money? Like, is he actually going to leave? He's thinking about it. Because Tom is like, come work at my lab. He's like, we have so much more fucking money. Like, we can do a grant together and then like research together. Like, it'll be great. And so now he's like really thinking about it, because he's like, one, it's a lot more money. Two, it's something that I'm more interested in than what I'm doing at Stanford. Because he's like, I don't want to teach intro to biology anymore. Fair.
But he's a biology nerd. Biology ninja.
Biology ninja. So she's like, oh my god, so you're gonna move to Boston. I'm supposed to move, but now I'm not going to, because creepy man. So now she like can't tell him. So now she's kind of like broken it off with him. She's like, we shouldn't see each other anymore. So now it's just kind of sad, and like Adam's probably like so fucking depressed because he can't, sleep with unicorn socks anymore.
Okay.
Adam, I'm right here. I don't want you that bad, but I'm here. So yeah, that's where I'm at. But I will finish
Obviously,
it. Like,
they're all gonna like end up together. It's gonna be fine.
Oh yeah, maybe. But okay, one thing that's really cute about this book, and I actually really enjoy, at the beginning of each of the chapters, like right under the like chapter 8 or like whatever, there's a hypothesis. To like lay out what's going to happen in the chapter, which I think is really cute. And honestly, it takes a lot of extra effort to like think about that and include that in your work. But it's like, one of them is, I'll read like a not confusing one. Also, the chapters are kind of long, and I don't like that. Okay, so like chapter 4, hypothesis. Adam Carlson and I have absolutely nothing in common, and having coffee with him will be twice as painful as a root canal without anesthesia. So it's like they're just these kind of like quippy little like, and I really like that, and I appreciate the work that went into that. But at the same time, why is it so cringe?
I like it. Like the whole book.
Not the hypothesis. The hypothesis. The whole book.
Oh.
But yeah, I think it's just...
I don't know.
I think it's insane, though. I think about this a lot. That I jump from, like, that to serial killers.
I mean, people read mysteries and history and all different kinds of stuff.
That is true. I might prefer my serial killers.
Speaking of itty bitty little female main characters.
Oh my god, yes, please tell me what you're reading.
Okay, well, this week, basically the only thing I read, because I read it on the plane, was Alive and Wells, and then Seeing Red, which is, they're like a, currently a duology, so I don't know if she's going to write more, though.
I think she's going to make a third.
Yeah, probably. So if you don't know...
But I did read that.
Yes. Rachel read Alive and Wells a while ago. It is a cowboy romance. I know I've been on a cowboy romance kick. I'm trying to get back into like fantasy and mystery and stuff. But I just, we're getting there. Don't worry about it. And so, read those great books. Kind of, I don't know. Alive and Wells is good because it's not like as typical. Like, I know we talked about this in a previous episode, but basically like she runs away from her ex-husband and ends up on this ranch and then falls in love with this like kind of owner of the ranch, and he, she likes him and he's trying to like not like her and like let her in and whatever, and it all works out. Seeing Red is hometown princess who like works in her dad's bar, gets like Cowboy. Her ex was cheating on her, they broke up, so she, to like get back at him, she asks one of the cowboys who like she's known her whole life, but like he's the town like fuck up and whatever, but not really, just because like his dad and his
he's
mom,
like the bad boy.
Yeah. And he's fine, like he works on the ranch, like he's not a bad person, but just everyone kind of is like, well, your dad was a deadbeat like alcoholic, and so you're gonna be a deadbeat alcoholic, and he's like, it's been 30 years, when is this supposed to happen, like why does everyone hate me?
Yeah. You can be really more than one thing.
Yes. He doesn't really care what people think about him, and it's why he kind of like works on the ranch and just like hangs out with his friends and stuff. But he's always had a crush on this girl, Cassidy. And so when she's like, help me get back at my ex, like make out with me, or like, and then like have sex with me on the hood of his car, her ex's car.
No way, that's actually fucking cool.
It was a
that eats. Moment. That actually eats.
It did eat. And so then she obviously gets pregnant, and then it's like he finds out and it's his, and they have this whole like back and forth, and like her dad doesn't trust him because like he thinks he's gonna be this deadbeat, and they end up getting along and it's all fine and they love each other and they're happy and whatever. Nothing revolutionary there, but a couple comments on contemporary romance in general.
Yes.
One, and I feel like we've addressed this, what do you mean they're so itty bitty? I don't understand, because they're supposed to be like 5'3", right? Oh, sorry. And this man is supposed to be 6 foot and above, okay? And for reference, I'm 5'5". If someone was 6 foot, we're like pushing the height difference right there. If you're over 6 foot, you're too tall for me, because they're like, oh, like he hugged me and he put his chin on my shoulder.
What do you mean?
I want everyone. So your forearm is supposed to be about a foot, and obviously, like if we're all different heights and stuff, that's not necessarily accurate. But for just this experiment,
I'm gonna do this.
Put your arm over your head. Your elbow should hit the top of your head. If they're a foot taller than you or more, you can't see my hand, but they are up here. That is where their head is.
It's right here.
And like obviously, like your head's a couple inches, so like they're here. But like to put their head on your shoulder, they are going to have to like hunch over.
I need someone this tall. Where are they?
Like, so like yeah, they're like,
that's insane.
Far. He put his head on my head.
No.
My head was in his shoulder, his neck. How?
Wow.
Did you grow 6 inches in the last 5 minutes?
Did you get a stepladder?
Is he holding you up? No.
I don't get it.
No. And then to further that, because like that's one thing. Okay, I get it. Like maybe they are laying down a little bit and like whatever, totally normal. You're probably like looking up and they're probably leaning down. Fine. Anytime they're like standing, which happens a lot in, I don't know, these two books for some reason, they're always like in a barn or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're like, Oh, I'm like at her chest. You mean you're bent over in half at the waist? Think about it.
That's weird.
I'm so sorry. How did you get from 3 feet above her to like middle of her torso? Huh?
Huh? Are you a
Standing.
magician?
Are you on your knees because you're still not tall enough? You'd be at her belly button. Be for real. Be fucking for real.
It's yeah, I don't think authors get that. But
Sorry,
actually,
my dog's having a
interesting.
tantrum.
No, that's fair. Me too. One
He's
thing
fine.
about
He's just upset.
me too. No, I'm
He
not upset.
doesn't
I'm having a
like to
great
be
time.
not where everyone else is.
Aw, little baby. Um, one thing about Heart and Mercy is he's impossibly tall. Like he's like 6'9". He's like between 6'7" and 6'9". I cannot remember, but
Okay.
they say it. So he's like extremely tall.
Tall.
And he's a cowboy and he's blonde and I love him. But he's also like a demigod, so it makes sense he's kind of like huge.
That adds up. You know what I mean?
But one thing that's really awesome is Mercy, our love interest, is like 5'8". So like a little bit taller than me. And so they keep
But
making
that's
this
still
comparison.
a foot shorter. Okay, sorry.
They keep making this like comparison that like they work so well together because she's tall enough for him and he's tall enough for her, because they have this whole thing where she's like, no one's ever been like taller than me so we could two-step. It's a Western,
Okay,
so
I
they're
have
two-stepping.
something. Love that.
But she's also always wearing like heels.
That still only makes her like maybe 5'10". And I'm gonna be honest. In all of these books, these love interests are no shorter than 6 foot. They're never shorter than 6 foot.
Yeah, I think.
And like, I get it. Like, he's a demigod. Like, obviously, he's gonna be big as fuck. But like, and that's different.
I also think I liked seeing a character who is like not fucking listed as 5'3".
Yeah,
because I'm not 5'3". Even though if a character is 5'3", like if I'm reading Fourth Wing and Violet is like 4'11", I'm still imagining her my height because that's how I see the world.
And she physically cannot be 4'11". Okay, Sabrina Carpenter, like, calm down.
Sabrina Carpenter is a little too small.
She is.
I love her,
4'11".
but she's actually too small and she needs to grow.
It's why she wears those like big ass.
I know, but girl,
she's
like
trying.
I know she's trying so hard, but it's also she's like dating like Barry, and he's like also 4'11". So
it works.
It works. They work.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not that like I'm 5'5". I'm very average to short. I know that. That's fine. But like, I think the qualm is when they just bring it up so many times. Like, she's so little. Like, she's just so itty bitty. And like, conventionally, I am thin and small. Totally get that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, just why? Why are we always bringing it up? And why is he always 6'7"? Like, come on. Like, what if we're just like, she is height and he is tall?
I have a hypothesis.
Yes.
I think authors do that with their female characters because is it not every woman's dream to like feel small with the man they're with?
Yes.
Don't you want to be told like you weigh nothing? Like that happens in this book. He's like she has to sit on his lap because there's no more seats at this talk they go to, and she's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, like and he's like, "No, it's fine, you weigh nothing." And it's like that's like a moment where it's like, "Oh my god, I weigh nothing to him." Because like he's so big and strong. And it's like, yeah, I don't know if I want to say this on the record, but I'm going to say this off, maybe on the record. We'll decide later. I felt so big in my last relationship. I felt like a I felt like Jack, the giant, the Jolly Green Giant. That's who I'm thinking of. I felt like Shrek, bitch. I felt like a big. So it's like I like when when like the characters are like, you weigh nothing, or like she's
Mm-hmm.
obviously smaller than him height wise. But stop bringing it up so often because it is cringe.
I think it is valid that like you wouldn't feel that way, or like maybe you like. I get it. There is kind of that dynamic of like, oh, I want my significant other to feel like manly and strong and whatever. Like he can take care of me. It's very
No, no.
like
I always think about
biological.
Maddie being like, I want someone to like pick me up and throw me because I'm so light and itty bitty.
And she
Like I just like,
is.
and she is. She's
She's
so
just gonna have to
small,
find a 6'7" man.
and she will. I'll find him.
She will. We will. We're on the hunt.
We're going on the hunt.
Um. No, I just think, and like that's fine, and that's valid. But I just think it perpetuates that like 2000s. Like, do you think I'm skinny and like, am I
Yeah,
thin
for sure.
enough? And like, do I look like a supermodel? And it's just like that's not realistic. But I also hate when books are like it's nice to be like, oh well, like she's curvy, like the main character, whatever. Cool, fine. But like they almost bring it up a little too much. It's not just like, oh, she exists as this. It's like we have to point it out at every opportunity. The main character like or the male main character has to reassure her at every turn that she's like hot and sexy because she has an ass.
This is me raising my hand because
Yes.
I'm so itty bitty.
Because you're just so little.
I think the coffee's
I'm sure if
getting to
someone
me, and
met
I'm
me in
just
person,
like,
they'd be like,
big.
yeah,
No,
like, no,
what did I say the other day? I was like, oh my god, she's huge.
she's huge.
But it was just because like I think a character in a show was like just really tall. And she was like wearing heels or something. I don't know. Like a character was just really tall, and I was like, she's huge. But
See,
anyway,
being sure, I want to be tall. I don't want to be 5'5". I want to be 6 foot.
well, I'm like okay being my height, but so I was obviously gonna tell you and Maddie later, but I did order the shoes.
Mm.
The ones I sent you from Nordstrom's, the ones that are on sale. So
You're
I
about to
did go
be
ahead.
7 foot.
So I did go ahead and buy them. I do have to go pick them up at the store though. So I
Mm-hmm.
have to do that, but they're like a 5.5 inch heel with a platform. So my ass is about to be towering over Lucy, and then I don't like that. I don't like feeling too tall. I don't really want. I don't know if I want to be shorter. So you're probably wondering, Rachel, why did you buy those heels?
They're cute.
They were so cute, and they're gonna look so cute with my sundress.
It'll be fun when you're stomping around in them.
Yeah, I'll have to try them on. I could
love
hate them. Who knows?
No, I'm happy with my height. Like I know I'm like, oh, I want to be tall, but like I don't really
Yeah,
care.
yeah. What I was gonna say about the whole like reassuring thing, like even if like the
Mm-hmm.
character is like more like curvy or something like that, in Heart of Mercy, what the fuck, who gives a shit? In that book he's 6'7", she's like 5'8", and she's like described as more of like a like curvy girl. Yeah, did I imagine her looking like me? But it's like they kind of keep making the point that she's like plus size, and it just made me really uncomfortable because it was
I think
like
it's fine to like,
they had to keep saying it to like, it was in the same vein of like reassurance, and I just,
and that's not to say
it was
like
weird.
you're allowed to describe them, like they're allowed to say something positive about their body, like but when it's
No,
like
and that, yeah, that's totally
every
okay.
time they put on an outfit, every time it's like they have to say something about like loving it, and it's like, that's nice, but like maybe we're pointing it out a little too much. Maybe we're making everyone uncomfortable because like even though it's positive, it's like still drawing attention to it. You don't know.
Yeah,
And
I
that's just a
run
personal
this.
opinion.
I run this like thin line of, I want you to describe the characters so I can picture them in my brain, because controversial. People have been really loving this book. I keep holding it up. Also, they look really cute together. It's great. It took me a little bit to get into it because I kind of forgot what these characters looked like, and they didn't re-describe them, but they
Oh,
described them
interesting.
in this one, which is the first one, which is great. And they're an interconnected series. It doesn't follow the same characters. This one is the brother of this character and the female character's best friend. You see where I'm going? But they don't re-describe them. So I was
re-describe people.
Yeah, I was having trouble picturing them in my brain. And maybe that's because I was reading like 4 things at once. But that's besides the point. But also, on the other side of this line is you've described them too much that now I can't get with the program. Because I've said this before, and I know y'all do this, and I know y'all read a book as YN. Like, you can't tell me I'm wrong that you don't picture yourself sometimes in a little bit, like, as the main character.
Well, yeah, because they're typically, even when they're like dual POV, it almost feels like you are that character. Like, because, I don't know.
You're reading from their
and whatnot.
Like,
or like
for example, like,
thoughts.
In Belladonna, it's all third person. So it's like Cigna went to the like kitchen, like it's that. So you're kind of reading on an outside plane, so it's easier to picture them as like just characters running around in a movie. And what's really interesting is Heart and Mercy does the same thing. It's like Mercy did blank, Heart did blank. But you described Mercy too much. And oh my god, I'm gonna say something so mean. I don't like what I'm seeing. But I love Heart. Heart, pick me, choose me. Oh my god.
I have no comment because I haven't read it yet.
No, I know. I'm just. I understand. I'm so mean. And but like I feel like you've seen this firsthand. Like we were watching Maxton Hall, and I'm like, but why'd they make her ugly? she's gorgeous so in real life. She's so pretty in real life. In real life, but she's like supermodel, like bare face, like Bella Hadid pretty. Like she's so pretty.
I think it's because the show they pulled her hair back in the show.
Yes, but she always wears it down.
She never wears it. Yeah. Sorry, we're like talking over each other.
No. And I love the heated discussion. It's about to piss me right off because, yeah, we're like, oh my god, why'd you make her so itty bitty? But she has to be in the book. She has to be the most gorgeous woman in the room. But also but not in a Magnolia Parks way, where it's like she's so full of herself. I've never read the book.
No, I don't know. She's kind of full of herself.
I would imagine. But like, I don't know. It's so I'm trying to think of like a good example of this, and I can't. I'm just thinking so many mean thoughts in my brain. Make her YN. Like every book should be YN.
I always wonder, because like you're right, now that I think about it, it's like pretty much most romance, like contemporary romance I've read, it's like, and I get it, like you don't want to be like, I think she's so ugly, like it's not going to make a good book if the main character doesn't think the other main character's hot. But like,
and everyone has their own types. I just don't understand why that's Heart's type, and I'm not. This is stemming from a point of jealousy of a fictional character.
Just so we're all clear. No, but I'm trying
Lucy's
to think
like,
of
cut the tapes. Cut the tapes.
And I've already cut all of them. No, I'm kidding. But like the only thing I can think of where it's like, oh, the main character is quote unquote ugly is like Shrek. But I think the whole point is that they like look past beauty standards. But it's like I feel like there's so few books where it's just like we can objectively be like, that bitch ugly. But but it's like I get it, like we're not gonna put like why do you think every actor and actress is hot? Like we're not gonna watch media if we don't think the characters are hot.
And that's true
and that's a bigger comment on society. I rest my case.
You exist within the context of which what was I gonna say? Maybe I'm just like a narcissistic asshole. But it's like, why isn't everyone hot? Like, why in my brain, why did I I think this is a me problem. Why in my brain when you described them did I picture them as ugly?
Well,
Is that your words or my mind?
I think it goes back to like beauty's subjective, but like also like you're just imagining them that way. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and it almost
Like you could
hurts.
imagine them as the most beautiful people in the entire world.
And I'm not saying I didn't enjoy Heart and Mercy. It was phenomenal. It had me on my toes, gripping the seat. Like I was stressed out. But I loved it. It was really great. But it just kind of Mercy also said some cringe things. She said some cringe things that I cannot get over. But anyway.
I can't wait to read it, and then we can actually talk about it. Sorry,
no,
everyone.
I know. No. I'm not going to say anything. It's just, it's an interesting topic of like, why are these people? No, and honestly, and I'm gonna rest my case as, well, I couldn't picture them as myself. That's so mean to say. We got to cut that.
No, I think that's true, and I think it's something that, not to like speak on the behalf of other people, but like definitely people of color and people who aren't like white, blonde, and thin come across a lot where it's just like I didn't connect with the character because they don't look like me, and there isn't characters that look like me, and I've never had that problem because I'm like Little Miss like champagne problems over here, but
yeah.
But I get it, like you want to see yourself in a character, and that's really hard when like they're not always described that way, but like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what to say because I've I'm losing my brain. I'm losing my marbles. I also think I have stereotypical. I have a face in my brain of like a main female lead in a book. She doesn't exactly look like me though. Like I'm not saying like, oh, it's me, because I'm like the most prettiest person in the world. There's like it's like a prototype, and we just.
I think I'm face blind, so I like can't see faces.
That happens to me too in books where I'm like, you're just like a figure with like some colored hair. But there's always a girl in my brain. There's always like the female lead in my brain, and I just kind of change her hair color. Sometimes. A lot of the time she just ends up being brunette. Even if she's blonde. I can't change it. But I think that's because I see myself more often than anyone. You know what I'm saying?
Like actually physically in person, like you see yourself all the time, or like
no, we see each other. I see myself in the mirror every day. Mm-hmm. So when I'm reading, I'm projecting my life, like I'm
because it's the easiest to
see
to what you know.
If someone was like, picture you and Lucy, I could picture me and you, because obviously I've seen you, but if I'm just picturing there's a female main character on the page, they're going to look a little more similar to me. I'm not going to picture, like, I wouldn't just, well, that person, if I read more and I'm like, oh, well, that person just really looks like Lucy. Like, I don't think I'm making sense, but it's like, but maybe it's just like well, I want to be in the story. I'm the main character. Because it's like, I'm the main character in my life.
Yeah. No, and that makes sense. Like, I think you're right. Like, I think everyone does that. We all picture ourselves because it's a book. It's not like an on screen where it's like, well, you absolutely have to think of this person as the character because they're in front of you. Like, you can use your imagination a little bit more. But like, no, I do the same thing. Like, of course I'm picturing myself or like someone I know really well because like that's who I know best, unless
Yeah.
it's like I've looked up fan art,
That,
and even then
that
it's like
sometimes
20
ruins
bucks.
it for me.
Like I'm probably not gonna remember it. And then two, if like an actor and actress comes to mind that's like, oh, I think they would be really similar to this. But like I'm really bad with faces and names, so like half the time it's like there's like 3 people I actually like can remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's why I was so impressed when I pulled it out of the bag of those 2 actors who would play young Haymitch. I was like, no fucking way I remember both these bitches.
I can't believe so when is this book coming out? Because that movie only coming out in like 2 years, which is not a long time.
Hang on.
Because I feel like the book's gonna have to like come out sometime next year, and then the movie will come out the year after that. But it's like she's probably
Well,
already been writing it. It's probably not like they decided and then they're like, well, let's tell everyone we decided to write a book. Like it's like about to get published or something.
I just saw this on Twitter. My fan cast for young Haymitch. It's Jojo Siwa.
Ill.
Hang
That's
on.
freak nasty.
I'll find it. That is freak nasty. 2025.
The book, and then the movie's in 2026.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. I hate waiting. I'm not a patient person.
I love Twitter. Sorry. I really do.
I'm
Like, y'all can hate on
excited.
it. This diva from Kung Fu Panda making noodles for the whole village while wearing a bowl of noodles on with chopsticks on her head. Mama, that's drag.
That's drag. And that's camp.
And that's
no one's done camp like he's done camp.
Happy Pride to the goose from Kung Fu Panda.
He was a gay dad. He adopted his son. Come on.
Yeah, he was a gay single dad. Period, queen.
I think we should end there.
Oh my god. I didn't even talk about Leather and Lark. Well, I kind of did, but like... Anyway, that doesn't matter.
We'll come back to that.
Well, yeah, I'll probably be done with it, so then we can like really...
And I'll finish this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
We had so many deep talks today.
We really got into it.
Where I said some mean things.
No. You spoke your truth.
I spoke my truth. Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, potty.
Bye, my brain eating amoebas.
I love brain eating amoebas.